Lorien Mahay is the new executive director of Theater Harrisburg. She joined the club in June as our very first Judson Fellow. Many of us have already enjoyed getting to know her, but we'd like her to tell you more about herself. So without any further introduction, please welcome Lorien to the podium.
Hi, everybody. I am not a celebrity speaker, so I will try to keep this to my allotted 5 minutes or less. But it's so nice to meet you. First of all, if I haven't met you yet, I am Lorien Mahay. I'm the executive director of Theater Harrisburg, and I am new-ish to the community. 2 years ago, I moved to Harrisburg, and I became the executive director of the theater. So I'm still getting settled, but very excited to be here. Just a little bit about myself. I have a beautiful family, 2 kids, Cedric and Lyra. You may see them at the pancake breakfast. That might happen. They are 10 now and 5. And my husband, Judah, from Alaska. I actually was raised between Ohio and South Carolina growing up, but moved to Michigan, met my Alaskan husband, and then decided to move to New York for grad studies. My background is in theater, so I got my MFA in dramaturgy, which if you ever want to know what that means, feel free to ask. Then I did my rounds with a lot of nonprofits. Nonprofits have always kind of been my heart, especially in the arts. So in New York, I started, I was the director for Robert Wilson's Watermill Center, which if you've never heard about it, it's an international center for experimentation in the arts. So we would host global residencies each year and have people in all kinds of different arts collaborating and making some very cool things together. I then went on to work at Bay Street Theater in Sag Harbor, and Bay Street Theater is a nonprofit professional LORT theater out in Sag Harbor. And then I finally moved on to Alan Alda's Center for Communicating Science, where I was the associate director there for a few years. The center is very interesting. It kind of aligned a couple different passions of mine. We use improvisation techniques to teach researchers, medical practitioners, and scientists how to communicate more effectively. And so I worked there for 5 years. We hosted hundreds of workshops and became known as the world's leading organization in science communication, working with NASA, World Bank, IBM, all of the biggest sectors in science and research. And then how did I get here to Harrisburg, you might ask? I'm happy to tell you the full story sometime, but the short story is that I got lost. My husband and I and our kids were on a road trip, and it was one of those things where we stopped and he plugged in his cell phone and I unplugged my cell phone, and we thought we were 15 minutes away from our hotel after driving all day with 2 small children in the car, only to realize we were actually 4 hours away from our hotel in the wrong state. So we decided to look for dinner and pulled off the highway onto North Front Street and had this moment where we're like, whoa, this is beautiful. Like, where did we just turn off of? And then turned over, found ourselves having burgers in front of the Capitol, and had one of those moments that I think can only really happen sort of post 2020, where you say, I wonder if we could live in Pennsylvania. Like, I wonder what it'd be like if we lived in Harrisburg. I don't know. I wonder if they have any theater here, right? So I typed in theater in Harrisburg and popped up Theater Harrisburg. And interestingly, they had just opened up an executive director position. I found out at that point they were a 96-year-old organization. We're now 98. A community theater in the capital region. And it was one of those moments where I feel like, for me, it was after watching all of these theaters go dark, watching Broadway go dark, watching community theaters never reopen with COVID, I had a moment where I was like, if there's anything that I can do to help this theater survive into its 100th, I feel like we should do it. I feel like we should come here and we should help help this theater to be able to survive. It's also one of those things where I don't know if you realize how unique it is to have a theater, especially a community theater that survived this long through depressions, recessions, floods, plagues, a pandemic. But to see it reopening after COVID was this really sort of special moment to be coming back in and trying to help in a sector that is still struggling to recover. And I think that it was one of those things where you have to wonder if a theater could survive that long, it must be located in a really special community, because a community theater doesn't survive without a community. And so largely the reason we came here and the reason I ended up joining Rotary Club was because I was interested in getting to know the community that this theater was part of and finding a way to be of service and helping Harrisburg to be even better than what I found it as, which has honestly been a really special place. We've really loved it here, and we found some great friendships, homes. We've had great experiences with our kids and schools and everything else. So I am looking forward to getting to know all of you. And if you have any questions at any point, I'm happy to answer them about the theater itself. So thank you.
Wow. That's, I guess she's here because she's been divinely inspired to be here.
I can't be the special speaker. I'll be the divine.
Lauren, did you want to
No,
tell everybody the
Sean.
next show coming up?
He's a board member, so he's now breaking the rules, but nonetheless.
I was going to actually wait until later, but ours is in November, so don't worry. You can go and see the opening of the symphony in October, and then in the first week of November, we're opening Fiddler on the Roof. We'll be opening it actually at Whitaker Center, so I hope you'll come out and see us. We'll be running for 3 weeks.
Thank you very much.